अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। पतिता पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। पतिता पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। पतिता पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। पतिता पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। पतिता पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। पतिता पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। पतिता पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। पतिता पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। पतिता पावन जानकी जीवन सीता मोहन राम। अयोध्यावासी राम 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 दशरथ नंदन राम। सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशकं वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। वाल्मीकैर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानदं को न याति परां गतिम्। या पिबन् सततं रामचरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तास्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषम्। गोष्पदीकृतवारासिं मस्कीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामाला रत्नं वन्दे अनिलात्मजम्। अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपितासमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम्। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठम् मदात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यम् श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि उल्लङ्घ्य सिन्धो सलीलं या शोकवह्निं जनकात्मजया अदाय तेनैव ददाह लङ्काम् नमामि तं प्राञ्जलिराञ्जनेयम् आञ्जनेयमतिपतलाननम् कञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहम् पारिजातातरुमूलवासिनम् भवयामि पवमाननन्दनम् यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनम् तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिम् बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनम् मारुतिम् नमता रक्षसान्तकम् वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचीत सद्दासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मनः श्रीराघवम् दशरथात्मजमप्रमेयम् सीतापतिम् रघुकुलान्वयरत्नदीपम् राजानुबाहुम् अरविन्द दलायताक्षम् रामम् निशाचरविनाशकरम् नमामि वैदेही सहितं सूरद्रुमातले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकामसने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वचयति प्रभञ्जनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परम् व्याख्यान्तम् भरतादिभिः परिवृतम् रामं भजे श्यामलम् श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय read from this from Ramayana. We'll be touching upon from Valmiki Ramayana, Bala Kanda, where Valmiki Muni is approaching Narada Muni, and Narada Muni is asking who is the greatest person in this world, who is personified of Dharma, who is personified of all the wonderful qualities. Can you describe? So, and then Narada Muni described this is the first chapter in the Balakanda in the Canto 1, describing the greatest qualities of the Supreme Lord, Ramachandra. Uh, so many wonderful qualities Narada Muni started describing. And then, after that, then Narada Muni departs from there, and then Valmiki Muni, along with his disciple Bharadwaja Muni, goes to the lake, river Tamasa, and then he sees these two croucher birds meeting each other. Then the hunter releasing an arrow and killing the male bird, and then he utters a curse. So at that time, then he comes back and he informs the disciple what has happened. And then at that point, uh, he utters a verse. That is a famous verse which we discussed previously at temple class. And then Lord Brahma appears. Lord Brahma then gives blessings to Sri Valmiki Muni and describes and gives blessings that so that he can describe this whole Ramayana, past, present, future, what is going to happen, what has happened in the past, everything he describes to Valmiki Muni, so that and then he departs. So on the blessings of Lord Brahma, mm, by Lord Brahma, so Valmiki Muni writes this the whole thing from that first verse, the whole Ramayana, everything. So that is the pretty much description in the first, at least first few chapters. So it describes even the whole thing, how Lord Thompson, while describing the qualities, he narrates the almost pretty much in brief Lord Rama's pastime. Nardamuni describes, including the love and kush, narrating the Ramayana, all that. So we'll read that, and as we go through that, we'll also refer to the verses from Valmiki Ramayana and look at the qualities, wonderful qualities of Lord Ramachandra, and the lessons we learn from those. One day, the great celestial sage Narada Muni came to Valmiki's ashram. Valmiki was conversing with his disciples, and upon seeing the arrival of his illustrious guest, immediately stood up to show respect. After offering their obeisances and seating him very comfortably, the rishis washed Narada's feet and offered him suitable presentations. And this is the process of approaching. Even though Valmiki himself is a great sage, uh, but Narada Muni is even further exalted in a senior person who sees and how one should submit expertly. A transcendental person comes. The three things Acharyas explain in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have that verse, Bhakti Rasayan. Three things can uplift the living conditioned soul to attain Krishna Prema, which is Bhakti, Bhukta, Avasesha. One is the water wash the lotus feet of the pure devotee of the Lord. One is the remnants of the pure devotee of the Lord, Maha Maha. After Lord comes out after offer to the Lord, it is called Mahaprasad. And then once that is tasted by the spiritual master, pure devotee of the Lord, then it becomes Maha Maha. And then the water washed from the lotus feet of the pure devotee and the dust from the lotus feet of pure. These three things are called. Quickly one can attain pure devotion to the Lord. Krupa, this is called Agnata Sukruti, and great merit, spiritual credits one will attain by the pure devotee. So that's why we see here Narada Muni is being received, just like Lord Krishna received Sudama Vipra, Swayam Shakti Samarhanam, personally. He didn't send servants. And so when the Guru comes, when the senior devotees, especially pure devotees, spiritual master, exalted person, one must, in general, any senior, even father, mother come. So any senior person, there is a process, it's etiquette. One should go out and from their comfortable seat or whatever, wherever they are situated, and go out and welcome them and offer their respects properly with great submission. So in that way, one receives the credit, great credit, as per here in this case, Narada Muni. So that's how Lord Krishna himself teaches. When Narada Muni walked in and Sudama Vipra personally, Lord washed the feet and sprinkled the water on their head and served the Sudama Vipra and Narada Muni very, very submissively. And that is the lesson number one here. There were the usual inquiries of one another's welfare. And then Valmiki then said, as Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse number 34 tad vidhi pranipadena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam ganinas tattvadarshana. So one must serve with great submission, and then you inquire about the supreme absolute truth. One should inquire about the ultimate truth, just like Sanatana Goswami inquired from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one should inquire like that. Here Valmiki Muni is doing the same thing. Um, O best of those who know the truth, please tell me who, now present on the earth, who is the foremost of all great personalities, who is the most learned and most powerful, who possesses the most attractive bodily features, who is noble minded, truthful, grateful, and most clever, who possesses flawless character and always looks after the welfare of all living beings, who is never subject to the influence of the anger or malice, and yet instills fear in the hearts of even the demigods, devas, who has the strength to give protection to everyone within the three worlds, and to who has the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, bestowed all her blessings, who is the reservoir of all opulences in full. This is the definition of Bhagavan, one who possesses all the opulences in full. But Uh, Valmiki Muni wants to know who is that personality at that point of time. Uh, Narada Muni is going to describe in great detail each and every characteristics and qualities of the supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Ramachandra here. But these are important to know so that by developing our loving service to the Lord, then we can service to the Lord and Lord's representative, then we can develop these qualities naturally. If we try to do artificially, then we cannot develop these qualities. By only by loving devotion service to the Lord and the spiritual master and the exalted personality, Mahajanas, then one can actually develop these qualities. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati kincha sarvair gunair tattva samasate. So manorate nasate davato pahi. So that means one should not be uh, speculating on the mind, but rather one should serve with the serve to the these exalted personalities. Nardamuni replied, "O Rishi, there is a king named Rama who has appeared in the dynasty of Ikshvaku as the son of Maharaj Dashrath. He is the embodiment of all good qualities. He is the reservoir of opulence, all opulence, and he is the master of unlimited potencies. Rama's mighty arms extend to his knees." That is the as we offer the prayers in the to Lord Chaitanya. Ajanu lambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalaya taksho. So touching the knees is called Ajanubahu. His throat is decorated with three lines, like those on the conch shell. His shoulders and chest are broad. His head is beautifully formed with his eyes are large. His complexion is tinged with green and is very lustrous. His stature, his complexion is tinged with green. So that the Lord Ramachandra is generally in green color. I had mentioned before many times. This is most of the times this is the description. I think in few places it is also kind of mentioned as a red. So that's why. So I think our dress we offered also. I think Ram Navami last time or 2 years before. That's red green dress, which is perfect. Which is the color which where how the Lord appeared in particular. Because each incarnation has a specific color, just like Lord Krishna appeared in a blackish blue. So like a dark cloud color, all the colors merges into that. That is all attractive Lord. So here this is a green color. His stature is medium tall, and his limbs are symmetrical and well formed. His intelligence is unfathomable. His countenance is grave, and his speech is deep in tone and very, very eloquent. Rama is fully conversant with the use of weapons and possesses absolute knowledge of the Vedas. He is the ideal follower of religious principles and is the upholder of the Varnashram social system. Rama is simultaneously the destroyer of all foes and the only shelter for fully surrendered souls. He possesses unflinching determination and is a genius with unfailing memory. He is wise, compassionate, and grave like the ocean. Rama is heroic in battle, loved by all the creatures, and is impartial toward both friends and enemies. And this quality has been described in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, action, karma yoga, action, Krishna. Vidya Vinay Sampane Brahmane Gavihaste Sunichek Sapajak Pandita Samadarshana. That means one should start developing these qualities by one sees always super soul in other living entities. As we more and more meditate on that, seeing the super soul in each and every living entity, as at least human beings, then naturally we'll forgive the one's bad qualities. And so we always, because that is one of the important quality of a spiritual master, important quality of a supreme Lord. How many faults one may do, Lord always forgives, especially Lord Ramchandra shows that. So it is explained by Narada Muni later on in the verses also. Forgiveness is very, very important quality. So Prabhupada has forgiven so many times, so many. So however fallen, still he accepted. So in fortitude, Rama is like the Himalayas. In prowess, he is like Lord Vishnu. Because if you don't see the super soul in other living entity, then always it's very difficult to um, be positive about the person. It is very difficult to accept them. So if you are looking at, because every person has positive, negative qualities. No material, unless a spiritual master is different story, Mahajana different, but ordinary person will always have something negative. So, but if one sees super soul, then he will override those negative qualities and always see as a spark, just like so Prabhupada saw every living entity as a spark, and they can be brought to their original consciousness. This is the quality one must develop. And Bhagavad Gita speaks, in chapter 6, verse number 30. And so, Yomam pasyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pasyati, tasyaham na pranasyami, na pranasyati. One who sees me everywhere, super soul, sees me, and I am never lost to them, and they are never lost to me. They will see me everywhere. They will see in everyone's heart I am there. So this is a Prabhupada explain elaborate purport is there. This is very important. For them, I'm always there. Krishna is for when one develop this quality, then for them Krishna is always present. Krishna will very quickly show to that person face to face. So it's a very important quality, as it is described here. Narada Muni briefly narrated the in fortitude, Rama is like the Himalayas. In prowess, he is like the Lord Vishnu. His beauty surpasses that of the full moon. His forbearance is like that of the earth, and his anger resembles the fire that blazes forth the time of universal devastation. In truth, Rama is the very support of the entire universe, and he is the plenary expansion of Lord Vishnu, being equal to him in all respects. This can be understood in different. Lord Rama himself, Lord Vishnu is coming after Lord Rama. In one sense, another sense you can understand is because all the incarnation comes through the um, quadruple expansion as well through Karanos, three Vishnus, Karanos, Sai Vishnu. They come through, but doesn't mean that they are the expansion of Karanos Vishnu. So in that way, one can understand when they appear. But actually, they are Lord Rama is the original personality of Godhead, supreme personality of Godhead. Rama, Lord Krishna, Lord Narasimha are considered as the Paravasta avatars, the highest level of highest form of God, highest form of Godhead. That of course the original personality Lord Krishna, and then he expand himself as Lord Balaram. So in that way, so that's Rama. When we say Lord Rama, Lord Balaram, Lord Parsuram, Sankarshan Ram, Radhika Raman. So in this way, it is being described here. So that's why actually Vishnu is after Lord Rama again expands as Vishnu, but it's not as. But the second way we can understand is through when Lord appears incarnate into this world, he appears through this three Purusha avatars, comes through them. So that's why we can consider that way. That is another meaning. Narada said during the reign of no, Narada Muni briefly narrated the history of Lord Ramachandra and then informed Valmiki that the very same Supreme Personality was now ruling over his subjects in the most exemplary manner. Narada said, during the reign of Lord Rama, no one within his kingdom suffered from disease or mental disturbance. Everyone is quite happy and prosperous, being without any fear of thieves, scarcity, or hunger. All towns and villages are filled with abundant food, grains, fruit, vegetables, and milk products. Actually, the people experience the same degree of piety and happiness that was formerly exhibited during Satyuga. Treta Yuga. This is well lot of that. There are no natural disturbances like floods, earthquakes, or drought. We just had Kali Yuga, that's automatically always has disturbances. All women are very chaste and they never have to suffer the pain of widowhood because the time always controls certain things. Kali Yuga is the worst of the fourth, but one good quality is there. So So many bad qualities, but one good quality is one can easily attain Krishna Prema by chanting the holy name. By simply chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can go back home, back to Godhead with great submission. One chants with great sincere, in a prayerful mood. One chants really, really crying, really want Lord. Then it can happen. In Kali Yuga, it made it much easier. Mm, Ocean of good quality. This ocean of out of ocean of so many unwanted qualities, but this quality is there. This is important quality in Kali Yuga. Lord Ramachandra will rule the earth for 11,000 years before returning to his supreme abode in the spiritual sky Vaikuntha. After Narada's departure to continue his travels, Valmiki went to the shore of the river Tamasa along with his disciple Bharadwaja. There Valmiki sat down to meditate deeply upon Narada's words. Then it so happened that within the forest Valmiki's gaze fell upon a pair of croncha birds, cranes, engaged in sexual relationship and singing very melodiously. Mm. Suddenly, a malicious hunter of the Narada, no, sorry, malicious hunter of the Nishada race came out of the hiding and released his arrow. Being pierced, the male bird fell to the ground, shrieking with pain. Seeing her male whining due to the agony of death and smeared with blood, the female crunch of bird crowded piteously, having been cast down from the heights of sensual enjoyment to the depths of the despair. Seeing this, Valmiki fell pained at heart. He considered the hunter to be very sinful. Flaring up with rape, the rishi, no, sorry, flaring up with rage, the rishi cursed the hunter, saying, "O killer of birds, may you never find peace of mind for endless years to follow. Like this, be the punishment for your heartless killing of an innocent creature who was engaged in glorifying mate." At the same time, there is a wonderful verse described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Even the person who is the meat eater or killing of the living and killing of these animals, even they can be delivered if they chant, because especially in some of the regions they chant Haram. They when they see this pig or boar, they say haram. Even by simply chanting, they are not thinking of Lord Ram, but haram. If they chant two different words, but still they get the highest benefit. This is called Namabhas, unknowingly chanting. Not Suddhanam, but they will get the benefit as well. There is a verse in Chaitanya Charitam, Mlecha, Mlecha, Hato, in Dante Leela. Damstri, Damstra, Hato, Mlecho, Ha Rameti, Puna Punaha, Uktvapi Muktim Apnoti Kim Puna Sridaya Granan. Even a Mlecha who is being killed by the tusk of a boar and who cries in distress again and again, Ha Ram, attains liberation. What then to speak of those who chant the holy name with veneration and faith? This refers to an instance in which meat eater is being killed by a boar uttered Haram again and again at the time of his death. Since this is a quotation from Narsingha Puran, this indicates that in a Puranic age there must also have been Mlechas and Yavanas meat eaters, and the words Haram meaning condemned were also uttered in those days. Thus, Haridas Thakur gives evidence that even a meat eater who condemns something by uttering the word Haram gets the benefit of chanting the holy name. The devotee chants to mean, "Oh my Lord Rama." Such a what else we need? The highest benediction has been given here. In this way, you can understand the power of the holy name. Now, let's look at the verses describing the actual pastime, actual very important instructions given by by our acharyas. This is from Valmiki Ramayana. It's earlier on the Kanda's version. The ascetic Valmiki humbly questioned Narada, who was absorbed into austerities and Vedic studies, who was the best of the knowers of the Vedas as well as the best of the sages. Where it is mentioned, Tapasvadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvidam varam Naradam pari papracha Valmikir muni pungavam. This is the first verse, Canto 1, Valmiki Ramayana. So very important points. Tapas Swadhyaya Narkam. One may be great, perform great austerity, Swadhyaya, simply reading also by himself, very much devoted to perform austerities and reading the Shastra, Vedas, Upanishads, and all. But that is not all in all. One could be performing all this, but no actual, real, loving devotion to the Lord and the Lord's representative. Mm. So this quality doesn't make one bona fide spiritual master. This quality doesn't make one to develop, get enlightenment, to develop Krishna prema. So that's the last. The next word is used. Tapasvi vag vidambaram means he has understood the essence of the transcendental knowledge, essence of all the scriptures. He has been blessed. Who is that? Narada Muni. Naradam Paripapracha Valmiki Munipungam. So that's why he's submitting. Valmiki understood Narada Muni is not an ordinary person. Mm, So what is who is in his Narada? Narada is one who Narada. One who gives Da means one who is the giver of bhakti to Lord Narayan, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Narada. Da means one who gives. Nara means one who gives Narayana Bhakti. Bhakti to Lord Narayan, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. And here our Acharya quotes. The very name Narada indicates that he destroys ignorance. Gayan Narayana Katam Sada Papa Bayapaham Narado Nasayan Iti Nunam Agnanajam Tamaha. So the ignorance means all kinds of ignorance, more ignorance, passion, goodness, everything. Everything is ignorance because anything until we perfect and transcend, until we realize our relationship with Supreme Lord and fully acting under Visuddha Sattva, it's all still ignorance only. Mm. Andhakar. Chaitanya Charitamrita explained in great detail about Andhakar, this ignorance. So, so that's when Valmiki is submitting to great sage Narada, and elaborate description is there. Now, who in this world, we ask the question Valmiki asked, who in this world at this time possesses all auspicious qualities, powerful as knower of Vedic Dharma, filled with gratitude, truthful person, and firm his vows? Uh, this Valmiki is questioning further. Who is self-control? And who always follows Vedic customs? Who benefits all creatures? Who is learned? Who can execute anything? Who is exclusively pleasure pleasing to look at? Who is self-controlled, of controlled anger, splendorous and non-envious? Whom do the demigods on the others fear when his anger is aroused in war? I am desirous of hearing about this, for I am greatly curious. Oh, great sage, you are capable of knowing such a person. So one should be very curious to know. And with a great submission. That is a very much important quality. That was the quality we saw in Sanatana Goswami's great submission as well. Now, Narada, the knower of the three words, having heard and understood these words of Valmiki, was delighted, inviting his attention by saying, "Listen." He spoke the following word, just like the Lord said in before beginning Bhakti Yoga. Before that, he didn't said exactly like that. Even though the Lord spoke before also, chapter 2, chapter 3, but first time in Bhakti Yoga, with great submission, one should hear. Lord is saying that. Sri Bhagavan was Maya Sakta, great attachment. One should pay attention and attach, especially the process of bhakti is like that. Maya Sakta Mana Parda, Yogam Injan Madashraya. Take shelter of me, Madashraya. Madashraya. Yogam Injan Madashraya. What is the last one? Tat Srunum. Yogam Injan Madashraya. Asamsayam Samagram Mam Yata Gnasya Tat Srunum. Greatly, with patience, great tolerance, great submission, one should hear specifically. Lord stresses that throughout almost in the ninth and tenth, further and further, almost three, four chapters again and again. That means how much for bhakti process the hearing with great submission, great attention, sincerity and seriousness and submission must be there. Then progression also is there at that pace. If any of that lacks, then progression is at much lower level. So that is very important to note how it is mentioned here. Next, O sage, having understood the several qualities described by you and other qualities that are certainly impossible to be attained, I shall describe a person endowed with them. Please listen. Here, Nardamun is going to describe. Born in the dynasty of Ikshvaku, known to the people by the name Rama, he is untransformed, of great strength, splendorous, blissful, and controller of all. And he is omniscient. His dealings are strictly in line with the teachings of the Vedas. He is the propagator of Vedic teachings. He is prosperous and destroyer of those who obstruct his mission. His shoulders are elevated, his arms are stout, his neck is like a conch shell, and his jaws are large. Mm, Very important point is his dealings are strictly in line with the teachings of the Vedas. So he always never disobeyed. He never went not in line with Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. Always Lord, whenever he appears, especially Lord Ramachandra when he appears, as Maryada Purushottam. Because following the Shastra is the first and foremost importance. Because the minute one rejects, one doesn't follow, then everything is gone. All auspiciousness is removed. Auspiciousness is gone. Life duration is reduced. So many things Shastra discuss. Yes, Shastra vidhim ustrijya vartate kamaka na siddhim na vapnod na lavate na sukham na paramgatim. One cannot have maintain even get a material happiness. Forget about getting the bliss, spiritual bliss, even material happiness also. One who doesn't follow so, Shastra Vidhi. So what should be done and what should not be done, just like the eclipse, and these are the basic things. We may not know, but we should inquire. We don't inquire, simply go monotonously, then not much can be changed. We cannot develop devotion. If we don't know, we have to inquire. If we keep on doing the same thing, routine work without asking, just like in the ordinary material job also, the person comes again and again every day, does come in office 9 to 5, logs in, logs out, without asking anything, without inquiring anything. What can I do? How can I improve? It doesn't take the feedback. It doesn't inquire. It doesn't fix. No one is going to promote him. No one is going to give him more projects. No, it's not. It cannot happen. Same thing here in spiritual practice also. One who doesn't pay attention to what Shastra has to say, what should be done, what should not be done for a festival, for everything. If that the inquisitiveness is not there, then it takes quite long time because we keep committing, keep going against Shastra. So which doesn't help. So we are getting the positive credit, but still, if you want to go at a pace, then we need to know. We have to inquire. We have to keep learning and then fixing whatever we are doing wrong, not knowingly doing things. Then those things will be we can fix it. If we don't know, then we don't inquire. Then we go on doing the same thing again and again. So I can do whatever I like on Eclipse. Yes, you can do. The result will be different. So that is the thing we have to know. That's why it has been described here. So that is the first and foremost, because the Lord Himself is expanding as Shastra. So the minute we violate Shastra, then we can't get the mercy. So Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru, Lord Himself is expanding. So further described, he has a broad chest. He is a great archer. His collarbone is invisible. He is victorious over the enemies. His arms reach out to his knees. His face is well formed. His forehead is beautiful, and his gait is beautiful. That is Lord's beautiful description. Further, some of the important parts. He is neither too tall nor too short. The parts of his body, such as his hands and feet, are equally sized. His complexion is moist. His splendorous. His chest is fleshy. His eyes are long. His bodily parts are lovely, and he possesses other auspicious characteristics. He knows his duties. That's why Vishwamitra is. But he's reminding. Always, Sadhu, Shastra, Guru always reminds. Even if Lord appears also, and that is the duty of the spiritual master. Always remind, reviving our lost relationship. So, as Vishwamitra has given that through Suprabhat. Kausalya's Praja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate उत्तिष्ठ नरसार्दूला कर्तव्यम दैवमान्यकम कर्तव्यम. Oh Lord Ramachandra, please get up, please get up. You have a duty to perform. Even though Lord knows, but it is a reminder. So that is the duty out of love and affection. So Valmiki, Vishwamitra, doing that. So in that way, that's why he knows his duties. He is true to his promise. He never violates. He is always truthful as Maryada Purushottam. Even though it's extremely difficult to do, but he is ready to do. He is ready to forego everything. Dharma, fully Dharma personified and very truthful. Father says something, then followed it. That's it. What is the consequence? What is going to happen? How much suffering? No, just moves on. So it doesn't matter. He doesn't give an inch to anybody to enter in to forego that. So that is what Dharma personified means Shastra, following his duties. Means he is absorbed in benefiting the living creatures. For that is the purpose. He is establishing because so that living entities everybody follows. Why Lord is coming to teach only Matyavataram Matya Sekshanam, as mentioned, 519, 8 or 18 verse. So in Kimpur showers of prayers to Lord Rams there. These verses are there. Lord has come to teach these qualities, exhibiting that one must follow Shastra, one must be truthful, one must obediently serve the superiors. All these things Lord is teaching how to be determined to follow the father's words and guru's words, everything. So that's why he specifically came to teach. He's famous, endowed with knowledge, straightforward. That is what straightforward means, simplicity. The disciple, practitioner of bhakti especially has to be simple. If he has a crooked nature, he behaves something outside, inside something, can't progress in devotion service. That attitude has to be taken out, thrown out into dustbin. So simplicity is Vaishnavism. Simplicity is not Vaishnavism. We are not trying to become Vaishnava. We are trying to become ordinary materialists. And that's what we can find everywhere. Office out everywhere. What is in it for me? What benefit I am going to get? If I talk with this person nicely, then I'm going to get this or that. But devotee, we don't care what I'm going to get. Krishna is giving everything. So what benefit I'm going to get doesn't matter. He's a president or vice president. We talk nicely because that is general quality of a devotee. But otherwise, we have uh, no use to flatter somebody or for some benefit. So devotee doesn't do that. That's not the ideal practice of a devotee. So but people do that is simplicity. It is not a simplicity. So simplicity means you are straightforward to the point. Dependent on his surrendered devotees, absorbed in thought of protecting them. He is equal to the Prajapati in the matter of protecting the universe. He is inseparable from Sri because always this is always explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita again and again. Radha Krishna Pranay Vikriti Ahladani Shakti Ekatmana Bhu Deha Vedo Gatautu. They are actually one body. Lord Himself is expanding. There's internal concerts. So that's why inseparable, as it is written here from Sri. So that's why Lord Ravana cannot take like Mother Sita. What Ravana took is illusory Sita only. That's another way. Means mm, that illusory means living entities are an illusion to enjoy separately from the Lord. Because the Artha, the wealth is without Lakshmi, without Narayan, then if you try to enjoy it separately, then you will get Vyartha, waste only. But if you utilize in the service of the Lord, thinking in relation with the Lakshmi to Narayan, then it will become Paramartha. You will attain highest destination. So, in everything, that's how we have to see. Then she will be chanchal. She will not stay. She will not give the actual highest bliss. One is utilizing the Lakshmi. Everybody is praying to Lakshmi, forgetting Narayan. Then yes, they may get money and whatever, but it is not going to give the actual real happiness. However much we may get, but it doesn't give the real happiness. But as soon as she is in relation with Lord Narayan, things are done, then automatically one can actually get the real happiness. Lakshmi Devi Sri acts according to the Lord's wish at that point of time. One is trying to enjoy separately, then Sri acts differently. So that is what described here further. He is the protector of the living creatures. He is the complete protector of the Vedic Dharma. He is the protector of his duty, and he is the protector of his devotees too. Always, Lord protects his devotees. Whether Jatayu or whoever came to help, always Lord always protects his devotees. So even though they passing away, Jatayu was almost died in fighting for Lord Rama, but Lord has made sure that Lord has specifically performed the final rites and achieved the topmost destination. So Vaikuntha. So the Lord personally did, and anybody, even if Lord is not in person at that time, any devotee who has performed his service, then Lord's representative Guru will be there, or Guru's representative will be there, or devotees will be there. Lord will make the arrangement. Lord and Guru will make the arrangement for the devotee who has sacrificed his life for the Lord's seva, then they will always be protected. They will never be lost. Konte pratijanami name bhakta pranasati. That is the Lord's words again and again. Given himself. So he knows the truth of the Vedas and Vedangas. He is skilled in the Dhanur Veda and other Upavedas. He knows the truths taught in all other Vedic scriptures. He has unfailing memory and brilliance. He is dear to everyone, and therefore he can be approached by saints. He is not helpless. He can speak about varied subjects. Hence, he is always approached by saints, just as the ocean is always approached by the rivers. Lord has, because everything is coming from him, the transcendental knowledge. So he knows everything. So that's with the great sages. Uddhava is asking so many questions. Uddhava Gita in 11th canto. So even then, that also Kurukshetra also sages ask. Lord glorifies sages, but then sages ask questions to Lord also. So in this way, we can see here also in the description. He is meant to be approached by all. He is always equal to all. He is always exclusively pleasing to behold. He is always and exclusively pleasing to behold. That Rama, who increases the delight of Kausalya alone, is endowed with all the qualities of the Supreme Soul. So always Lord, looking at the Lord, darshan of the Lord is always pleasing. So Kamaniya Vigraham, so including his pure devotees, so Prabhupada, Lord Hanuman, they are naturally beautiful, naturally compassionate, naturally by taking darshan of the Lord, taking darshan of Guru is equal. Lord himself says, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Ishwara Priya, when Lord Ramachandra, when Lord Krishna met these sages at Kurukshetra, he's telling that now my life is millions of lives and millions of births, everything have become purified by meeting you. So, by meeting you is very difficult to see you and meet you all. So I'm getting the greatest benefit. So it cannot be compared. Even one moments of association with great sages is extremely beneficial. Lord Himself is teaching that. Lord Ramchandra is also teaching that through Ramayana, through his dealings. In gravity, he is like an ocean. In tolerance, he is like the Himalayas. In prowess, he is similar to Lord Vishnu, pleasing to behold like the moon. In anger, he is similar to the underwater volcano. In forgiveness, he is equal to the earth. Bhumidevi always forgives. Even so many atrocities happen. He is equal to Kuvera in charity. And like Dharma himself is unrivaled in truthfulness. Out of love and with the desire to please his ministers, King Dasharatha desired to install the drama. Now, Maraman is giving now the description of Ramayana already. He's dear, and because he has mentioned the qualities, now he wants to portray, he wants to explain with that passages so that the Valmiki can understand and others can understand. His dear and eldest son was endowed with these qualities, whose prowess was unfailing, who was endowed with excellent qualities for political administration, and who was engaged in befitting his citizens. Noticing the ingredients for his coronation, his wife Kaikeyi Devi, who had been granted a boon by King Dasharatha, requested him to grant that boon now. That boon was to exile Rama and to coronate Bharata. Somebody else then would have done something else, some other way. But here we can see that how Lord is truthful, Dharma personified. Because he wanted to be truthful to his word, King Dasharatha was bound by the noose of Dharma. So he exiled his dear son Rama. Lakshmana asked, "No, I can do everything. Just tell me. So just give me order." Lord didn't budge at all. His acts on his word very truthful. It doesn't matter how difficult that is. Rama, though a hero, despite his father's order to please Kaikeyi, upheld his promise and went to the forest. Endowed with humility, Rama's dear brother Lakshmana followed him, who had set out of affection. That increases that the increaser of Sumitra's joy was so dear to his brother, did so while revealing their brotherly affection. How brother, there's unity and diversity. Is affection for brothers, affection for everybody. How it should be has been taught by Lakshmana. How to serve. So those 14 years, Lakshmana didn't sleep, didn't eat. So unhesitatingly, he served Lord Ramchandra always. Lord Rama is also attached to Lakshmana like that. And, so we can understand these qualities, very important qualities one must develop. Affection. Rama's dear wife was equal to his very life and engaged in doing good to all. She was born in Janaka's dynasty and was as if created by the Lord's illusion. Endowed with all auspicious symptoms, the best bride among women, Sita also followed Rama just as Rohini follows the moon. He was followed by the residents of Ayodhya city for a long distance and by Rama's father Dasharatha. Rama, of a dharmic nature, dismissed the charioteer Sumantra at Sringi Berapura on the bank of Ganga when he met his dear devotee Guha, the chief of the Nishadas. So Lord always doesn't matter what race, what caste, where. Lord accepts the devotion of any living entity. Doesn't matter, a bird or a human being or whatever the case may be. So here, Guha is a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra here. Lord is accepting his affection, so his association. And Lord also forbade all these the Ayodhya because he knows because he's going for a specific purpose, and so he wants to make sure they are not leaving the kingdom, they are not violating the principles. They should be there. So sometimes, Guru may go from one place to another place. Now the disciple should not go and run behind him, not leaving the service, leaving the other things which is important to be done. So that these things has to be understood. So Lord wants to make sure all others are following what they are supposed to do, not run away and follow behind him, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to Vrindavan, he didn't let others follow. Many of them want to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he didn't let them do that. Now, thus, Rama, along with Lakshmana and Sita, was ferried across the Ganga by Guha. The three crossed over the river Ganga of abundant water, went from one forest to another, and on the order of the Bharadwaja, reached Chitrakoot, where they happily constructed a pleasant and appropriate residence in that forest. Like the Deva Gandharvas, they lived there happily. 855. Now let's read from here further. Seeing this, Valmiki felt pained at heart and considered the hunter to be very sinful. Yeah. But as soon as the curse was uttered, Valmiki felt shame for having become a victim of the uncontrolled anger. As the enlightened soul, he knew very well that all living beings are acting helplessly under the influence of the three modes of material nature. Prakriti, Kriyamana, Gunai, Karmana, Ahankar, Vimoda, Atma, Karta, Manyate. So, three modes. naturally. But one who is developed is a deep attachment to the Lord, devotion service, then he doesn't get carried away by the modes. Doesn't matter how frustrating, how distressful situation is. Valmiki thus regretted that he had retaliated against the hunter, and yet at the same time he was astonished to realize that the curse had come out of his mouth in perfect poetic meter, and the curse seemed to hint that the predominant emotional theme portrayed the life story of Lord Rama, which Valmiki had been contemplating ever since his meeting with Narada. Valmiki remarked to Bharadwaja, "From my sorrow has come a verse of 4 lines, each containing 8 syllables. From Shoka, remorse, from has come a very nice shloka, verse. For without compassion, there can be no genuine poetic expression." So the shloka also, sloka and then shloka also led to the another transformation, as I explained before. Valmiki bathed in the river Tamasa and then returned to his ashram. Soon thereafter, he was seated at ease, contemplating deeply about his having cursed the hunter. Valmiki saw Lord Brahma descending from his abode, the topmost planet in the universe. Being highly astonished, Valmiki jubilantly got up from the seat to welcome the secondary creator of the universe, who had appeared directly from the abdomen of Lord Vishnu. As Lord Brahma came before him, Valmiki very humbly bowed down to offer obeisances. Then he began to worship Lord Brahma to the best of his ability with great respect. After being honored, Lord Brahma, who can understand the hearts of everyone, spoke as follows. Blessed sage, do not grieve, thinking that you had wrongly cursed the hunter. I will tell you something very confidential. The words that you had great angrily spoken were not your own. They were my words, spoken by you instrumentally, for the purpose of inspiring you to accomplish a great task. The time has come for you to compose the history of Lord Ramachandra's life. This will be a narration that is full of transcendental pastimes and which is meant for the ultimate welfare of the whole world. That is the ultimate welfare is Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Eto Bhakti Radok Sahayituki Atma Suprasida. So that is the ultimate purpose to attain Krishna Prema. Already time is up. We'll chant another bhajan and then we'll conclude. रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र मम बन्धु रामचन्द्र दयसिन्धु रामचन्द्र मम बन्धु रामचन्द्र दयसिन्धु रामचन्द्र रघुनाथ रामचन्द्र जगन्नाथ रामचन्द्र रघुनाथ रामचन्द्र जगन्नाथ रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र मम बन्धु रामचन्द्र दयसिन्धु रामचन्द्र मम बन्धु रामचन्द्र दयसिन्धु रामचन्द्र रघुनाथ रामचन्द्र जगन्नाथ। सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। गोपाद की जय। गौर भक्तवृंद की जय।